All right, you baby makers. Here's number three, part three on natural solutions for fertility. So we're going to talk about foods. We're going to really dive into nutrition, what you can do to heal your body, heal yourself. Food is medicine. That has been a statement from ancient doctors as far back as Hippocrates. You look at even in some of the Confucian philosophy, it's written, and then you look at the Yellow Emperor's classic, the Neijing Su Wen. They talk a lot about food as medicine. So, from a Chinese medical perspective, we like to differentiate foods between what foods are warming and what foods are cooling. Now, here's your pop quiz. I want to see how well you've retained some of this information that we've gone through over the last two parts. But cold foods are good for what sex? Men or women, male or female? And hot foods are good for male or female if you're trying to get pregnant, and this is general. So, in general, men, you want to eat more of the cooling foods during pregnancy. Women, you want to eat more of the warming foods or the heating foods. Once again, don't do too much of too cold or too much heat. It's all about balance here, but in general, men, we like you to stay cooler, ladies, warmer. Okay, so let's talk about the men first. The cold foods for men are going to be some of the melons, the apples, the pears. Remember, eat these in the evenings so you're not insulin resistant. The grapefruit, bananas, some plain yogurt is cold, but good little critters for your gut. Mussels, pork, celery, lettuce, barley, and then salt. So make sure you are getting adequate levels of salt. Both of you need to be getting a good dose of either the Kona sea salt or some kind of Himalayan salt. Some of the cooler foods for you men are eggplants, but be careful with eggplants. It is a nightshade, and if you have an autoimmune condition, that can exacerbate it. Lemons are more cool. Tomatoes, crabs, spinach, certain types of teas. Bread is cool. Try not to eat too much bread. The only type of bread is if you're fermenting your own sourdough bread, and then the fermentation process allows for some of the gluten to get broke down. Certain types of milk, make sure it's raw, or cheese has got to be raw. Neutral foods are going to be your eggs, coconut, white cabbage, green beans, plums, mushrooms, potatoes, wheat. Once again, I would not recommend just doing any wheat at all right now. We're trying to get you healthy. Peas, grapes, Indian tea, strawberries, hard cheeses, broad beans, corn on the cob, or brown rice. Okay, ladies, so neutral, focus a lot of energy on the neutral foods. Now we'll get into the warm foods. So the red beans, the leeks, the turnips, the beef, green cabbage, peanuts, but don't do peanuts, carrots, oats, figs. You can look at mint and thyme, pumpkin. Pumpkin's awesome. Lots of good fatty acids in there. Coffee is more warm. Radishes, chicken, onion. And then you look at hot foods. You look at Brussels sprouts. You look at lamb. Lamb is a huge fertility food for women. You look at the peaches, almonds, lentils. Now, don't eat almonds if you have thyroid issues, and we talked a lot about thyroid. Ginger, amazing. Mustard, pepper, and then some of the pungent cheeses. Let's look at, so think about those, and once again, that's from a Chinese medical perspective. Here's 10 foods that are going to increase libido and fertility in women, and I like this. It's a very well-rounded approach. If you eat everything on this wheel, ladies, you're going to be a lean, mean, reproducing machine. So seaweed, fruits and vegetables, of course fruits and vegetables. We just went through the warming and cooling ones, so please review that. Yams. Research shows that yams have an ovulation stimulating substance that can actually help boost fertility. And yams on the starch list, if you look at the bulletproof diet, yams are it's the safe zone. Very good food for you. Maca root. Maca root increases fertility in men and women. So it increases energy, it boosts the immune system, and it provides vital minerals and nutrients. So it's packed with iron and iodine. So if you have issues with your thyroid, you need adequate levels of iodine. If you have issues with any type of anemia, then maca root is your root. Leafy green vegetables, all the B vitamins, the potassium, the arugula, the broccoli, they're high in folate. And remember, you ladies need lots of folate so you're not having babies with a cleft palate. The leafy greens are a great way of detoxing your liver too. Certain beans have lots of iron. If beans give you gas, then you may be eating too many or you're not cooking them enough. So try to sprout your beans overnight in water and then cook them the next day. Berries, the flavonoids in berries are awesome. They'll protect you from egg damage, and they will also protect your joints and ligaments and tendons. So blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, those are great. Make sure you're getting organic berries. Oysters are great. They've been known to increase libido, but they can be a great source for fertility because they have lots of zinc. And zinc not only will heal your intestinal lining, but that will make sure that you have good egg quality. So lots of zinc. And once again, look at your fingernails. Do you have white spots? If you do, you've got a zinc deficiency, either from yeast overgrowth or leaky gut. So fix your zinc first. Figs are awesome. Figs, once again, they contain a lot of iron, and they're important for healthy eggs, and they help in ovulation. Salmon is a great food, so make sure you're doing the free wild caught. I was going to say free range, but I don't think so. I've never seen a salmon on a range. But salmon, if it's wild caught salmon, you're going to get tons of omega-3s and fatty acids, and that will make for a very smart baby. Eat your salmon with your seaweed, then you're enhancing your kidney function, your brain, your liver, your bladder. So there's some good foods for you to get into your body. Okay, so let's jump into a few more. Chocolate. Yes, chocolate is a fertility-inducing food. You can look at a little bit of cayenne pepper, onions, ginger. Goji berries are awesome. And okay, so this is the other good food. Your biggest superfood is going to be liver, especially if you've had any kind of anemia. Now, liver, you got to cook it. Do not eat this thing raw, but liver is a powerful superfood. Incredible when it comes to enhancing overall function of your blood, increasing your body's ability to produce hormones that you need for reproduction. Liver is also one of the ways that you can really detox and tonify your liver. You'll get new liver cells in there. We talked about oysters, salmon, leafy greens, and here's another big thing, and it's bone broth. Now the funny thing is, we've been eating every single part on the animal for years, for thousands of years. And in American culture, we just kind of take off what we want and throw the rest away. But there's this resurgence of bone broth, and I'm drinking some right now. Let me I put some Kerrygold butter in it and some brain octane, so it's kind of like my bulletproof bone marrow, and it is delicious. I taught over the weekend in LA, and every morning I was near Santa Monica where the Bulletproof Cafe is, and I went and got bone broth, and that's what I had for breakfast, and it really helped keep my energy levels up. Okay, so how do you make bone broth? Several ways. You can do it chicken, pork, beef, bison. Here's a recipe for chicken. So you put a whole chicken, onions, carrots, and spices. You cover it in water, simmer for about 1 to 2 hours until the chicken is thoroughly cooked. You can use a thermometer if you like. Step 2 is you remove the chicken from the broth, let it cool down, and bone it. So separate the meat from the bones and the skin. And now you've got some dinner. Step 3, put all the bone, skin, and edible part of the chicken back into the broth and allow it to simmer, covered for at least 6 hours, ideally 6 to 24 hours. Use your crock pot if you have one. It makes it super simple. Your house will smell nice and cozy when you come in, like a Sunday afternoon. Step 4, let it cool, filter and store it in your fridge. So it's done. Step 4, you just put it in your fridge and you can freeze it if you want. And step 5, drink it, have fun with it. You can put some, you can put some basil in there, some thyme, some cucumbers, some onions, some potatoes. All these things will help enhance the flavor, but it's as simple as that to create your own bone broth, and it's amazing stuff. Bone broth, it helps seal your gut and promotes healthy digestion. So for those of you who have leaky gut or any type of autoimmunity, drink some bone broth every single day. It's going to help attract hot liquids, and it induces the digestive juices, so you will get better enzymatic production from your stomach and your small intestine and your pancreas. Bone broth has been shown to reduce joint pain and inflammation because it does have chondroitin and sulfates in it and glucosamine. So, what have you been told? Oh, you've got arthritis, take glucosamine, chondroitin. This is naturally occurring in bone broth, and I'm telling you, you will not get the density in a pill. You do it with bone broth. It promotes strong, healthy bones. It's got high amounts of calcium and magnesium. It inhibits infection, so it will decrease flu viruses and colds. There's actually a study published over a decade ago that found that chicken soup indeed has medicinal qualities. It mitigates infection, and especially if you're doing bone broth soup. Fights infection, amino acids, so there's glycine, proline, and arginine. Those all have anti-inflammatory effects. Arginine, for example, has been found to be particularly beneficial for the treatment of sepsis. So that is huge. So if you get your homocysteine levels measured, I just had mine taken and mine are just fine, even though I have all of the genetic mutations that would cause it to be elevated. I think I've regulated it partly because I do bone broth and I take care of other aspects of my nutrition. But glycine has calming effects. Arginine is also great for fertility. It's good for men if you have any issues with ED. It's an amazing amino acid for circulation. Bone broth will promote healthy hair and nail growth. That's from the gelatin in the broth. So this is what it looks like. It's very tasty. You can now go to certain restaurants and we'll go buy bones at Whole Foods and they'll think they're for the dogs, but they're actually for us because we'll cut those big femurs in half, and then you can cook the bone marrow and then eat the bone marrow with a spoon. It's so tasty and makes you feel so good. So get yourself some bone broth soup. Eat your oysters, your salmon, eat your liver, get some more chocolate and goji berries. Eat the yams, the maca root, get your beans, your berries, your figs, lots of salmon and seaweed. All these things are going to help you conceive. And then some of the other things you want to do is take some time out to relax, decrease your stress. All those are very powerful things. So let's talk about some herbs that you can take, because in Chinese medicine we use a lot of herbs. And we want to make sure that we get the herbs that are right for you. So some of the major herbs that we want to use, there's certain parts of ginseng that can be very beneficial. Poria, we want to look at getting you on the right amount of polygonum or withania. There's certain adaptogenic herbs that have been shown to be helpful too. Alongside with the Panax ginseng, you can do ashwagandha, the holy basil, rhodiola, eleuthero. Those are all powerful adaptogenic herbs that can help your body get ready for pregnancy. Skullcap, licorice root, if you don't have high blood pressure, can be very good too. When you're looking at vitamins and minerals, you want to make sure you have lots of iodine throughout your pregnancy. That will ensure that you're going to have a very healthy, smart baby, and that will keep your immune system strong as well. Most of these herbs are going to be safe during pregnancy, but once again, come meet with a professional. Some of the herbs that we like to use too, and some of the minerals are Zypan, because it's got pepsin in it, betaine hydrochloride, and it helps regulate the stomach acids. So come meet with us and we will figure out what's going to be best for you. If you don't live in the area, then you can always reach out to us and we can do some consulting over the phone. But thank you so much. I look forward to hearing how it goes with your new little baby. I think having babies are amazing, and it's been an incredible experience taking you through these three-part sessions of how to get pregnant, how to reverse fertility, and I can't wait to hear on the next show. If you know of anybody who is trying to get pregnant, please send them this information. They will thank you for it. And once again, feel free to send your comments, questions, anything to me at regan@gowellness.com. And you guys have an amazing day and happy baby time.